I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I don't know. I've been a little bit nervous, and I know some people have been waiting, especially since my mom passed away. I know they wanted me to talk about that and whatever downloads and stuff that I've received and I learned. And then I know there are some people that don't want me to talk about the stuff that I've learned. And which a lot of it, like most of it, is very eye-opening, very interesting. Like learning about, because I was, of course, yes, I was upset and very, very traumatized losing someone you love, your parent. And especially since I thought, like 2 years ago, I thought that my mom's condition was actually improving because I did a lot of research and a lot of natural treatments that have been used around the world. They just don't use it in the United States. And my mom was getting better, and then all of a sudden she just started deteriorating like really, really bad. And I didn't know what it was, but now I do. And her behavior was very, very combative. It was hard, very hard for me to handle her. And she got to the point where like she made no effort to take care of herself at all, and stuff that she used to do that was easy for her, she just decided not to do anything. And I didn't know what it was. And her behavior, like things that she never had issues with, all of a sudden she just started acting like very, very strange. And she started like the last year is when it got really bad, and she started having weird behaviors even in her sleep. She would pull her legs up like if she was in a little cage. And she would like kick her legs and her arms like if she was fighting someone. And that was every night. She started doing that the last year every night. So it was a lot of weird things like that. And like I thought I at least had 2 years with her, or a year and a half. I didn't expect her to pass away, and I had wanted, like I said before, I wanted to take her to Korea because I haven't been there since I was like around 3 years old. And so I really don't know my Korean family. And then it was like 2 months before she passed, which she passed 5 days before my birthday. 2 months before she passed, my guides were telling me that to be really, really nice to her, and I couldn't understand why, you know. And they were like, even though you're getting triggered and it's understandable you're stressed out, that you're going to regret every little thing, so be super nice to her. And then all of a sudden, like, I didn't want to garden. I had gardened 2 years ago, like did the whole backyard for my mom. She would just sit outside and built trellises and everything for my mom just to sit there. And, you know, we just sat there all day. That's what I did for a year and a half. And I didn't want to garden because I was tired. And then all of a sudden, like, I had a strange urge to garden like crazy, grew all the grass, everything within like 30 days. And I started having other weird things happen, which I know that it's going to sound crazy, and I know others that are like me are experiencing this. People that are gifted and spiritual and loving, they're in a spiritual battle. They are getting attacked by other people, which is crazy. Other people that are actually jealous, that are not gifted, that don't want to do the inner work, that actually abandon source, abandon God, and literally sold their soul to the devil. And because they're disconnected from source, they don't have that mana, they cannot manifest on their own, so they have to steal it from their environment, from other beings, plants, animals, human beings. And then they know, and people call them energy vampires. Straight up, they without other life, they would die. And when they don't have what you call a supply or a source of attention, adoration, even it could be negative, just as long as they get some type of emotional energy from somebody or something, a life force, they will literally physically start getting sick and they will die. So these things, people or whatever, they actually go really far, and they're willing to do everything and anything to have some type of power over people, to have access to all kinds of stuff by using stuff like black magic or voodoo, hoodoo, or whatever the hell. And then even using other practitioners, dark practitioners that chose the left-handed path of where the only thing that matters is them. And it doesn't have to be that way. But they don't want to do the work. And many of them, because of their bloodline, because of their ancestors, they can't, or it's almost impossible to get out of that path. It's almost like their bloodline is cursed. And it's like on the other videos with the A circle, the entities that they do work with, or some of them don't even realize what those entities are, that they're very negative. And the vision that they showed me was so, no joke, seeing it, all I wanted to do when they showed it to me was make me want to throw up. And now I get why they showed that to me, of that the person that was at the graveyard and the entity that was on top of their head. And it was creepy just seeing it. The creature's fingers were so long, and its arms and legs were so spidery long, and the fingers were embedded around the eye sockets. So the person, all they saw was through the creature's hands, and what the creature wanted to see is that's all they saw. And the creature's face was leaned over on top of the person's head, and it was like whispering stuff in the head and feeding at the same time from the person. And that gives that person a form of euphoria, sort of like a mosquito, where you don't feel pain from it biting you because it injects something in you while it receives something. So these people, because they receive some type of knowledge, which they do believe is some type of gift, they think this message is from God, or some of them even know this entity is dark, but they're just happy because it makes them feel special. And some don't know to discriminate if it's dark or light. They're just happy to have something, to be something more than themselves. And so, like on the 8th circle, the lower level entity, the thing is the knowledge, they think, those creatures think they are God, but they don't realize there is energy. There's a frequencies above them. So what they know, that's all they know. They think they are the ultimate God. They don't think there's anything above them, so they cannot comprehend any knowledge above themselves. So what these people contacting or interacting with these entities, that's why when you talk to them or try to explain to them universal law, they cannot, it's like they don't understand. They cannot comprehend it. And they described it to me like, say if you're Picasso, you're an artist, and you have a child that's 3 years old, and the child sees you painting, spending hours on a painting. And you get all this adoration and money, and so they think the child does not comprehend the level of the color and the way it's organized. They just think that, oh, you spent 3 hours or whatever splattering paint, then you should receive recognition. That's the comprehension level that these people have. They just cannot understand. They're like a 3-year-old. They think they should receive adoration because they sat there for 3 hours painting, when not realizing like there's some type of coordination that goes on with the painting, but their knowledge level, their intellectual level, or because they're seeing through these entities, they cannot comprehend. It's like they are literally the entity. And these people that are doing the graveyard magic, there was so many entities around them, all different forms. It was creepy as fuck, seeing it. And this person, the one that I saw, was totally oblivious to this. These things just crawling all around it. And they take these things home. And it interacts with everybody, their environment, everything they touch. and it's almost like everything about that person literally is putrid and infectious. Literally just what I would call it, spreading demons. Those person's demons, just spreading it to everybody else. And the way they spread knowledge or reverse knowledge, which would be Luciferian, like telling you, and they go after people that are not totally aware or don't know all of the knowledge thoroughly. So, I mean, it sounds good on the surface, but then these people or these entities skew everything around to justify their behavior, to flip things around, so in a way to make sure these entities continually get fed. And so the euphoria that they feel is temporary. It's not long lasting, and it's frantic. Like they need it again, like an addiction. That's a sign of being infested or being influenced by an entity or a demon, where they preach a certain way of life, a certain way of thinking, but it just promotes more dysfunction and having this feeling of they're frantic. You need to get more. You need to get more. So they practice this form of, many of them practice this form of, they say it's free thinking, and a lot of them practice this form of polygamy that just spreads demons. Many of them, it's just very skewed. It's very toxic, and it is very dysfunctional. And it's scary that it's spreading. And then I'm going to be jumping around, because a lot of this stuff, like, it does make me nervous to talk about it. And then I'm doing Minecraft, so I don't want to show my face, do my hair. It's time consuming. And then plus I don't want to deal with the energy of that. And I've already been through enough. And I know there are others who are going through this too. A lot that are going through this too. And a lot of people are scared because the attacks are getting like really creepy. And these people are going after like your weak points. And some of them are really good at it. And they've been doing this for a very fucking long time. They're very good with the mind games. And they know a lot of people. And some of these people, I'm going to say they're very techie. And these people that are gifted, they're monitoring them, like deep monitoring. They want to know every bit of knowledge, every bit of access to anything that the gifted have. And some of them are even like stealing it as their own personal content, or they're looking for weak points in that person's life to attack. So to keep the frequency of the person lower, because it makes it easier to manipulate that person or to send entities towards them, negative energies. Because it's more like if you elevate yourself frequency-wise, then you become less accessible to them. It's harder for their magic to reach you or affect you. And how some of them, because they believe it, you don't have to believe it, they believe it, where they can like energy harvest, switch frequencies, destinies. If you're at a higher frequency, they can't do this. So they do shit like to affect weak points in your life, like make things break down in your life, keep you broke, keep you preoccupied, make you think crazy shit. And I'll get into that too. I was wondering, how the fuck are they doing this? And like make things break around your house, keep you broke, keep you preoccupied, cause chaos in your life, like things you were waiting for, make sure that things are slowed down, that everything's harder for you in your life, so you get preoccupied. And some people, to the point you think that you're being punished. You know you're not being punished. They want you to think that. They actually, I guess, project shit that they're going through, their emotions, their feelings, their distress onto you. They're very familiar with that frequency. So it's like they carbon copy it into your environment somehow, some way. I don't know how the fuck they do it. If they just do a prayer, or if they actually put a physical object in your home, or they make you ingest something. I don't know. I just know they figure out some way to affect your frequency. One of them is like making things break down, causing a lot of conflict in your life. So to keep you broke, to keep you in a negative energy, so it makes it easier to influence you in some way. And many of them are techie, or they have someone that's techie and they're monitoring you on your electronics. Anything that is intelligent, they can monitor you. And I'm going to sound like fucking conspiracy, I know, but you can look this shit up. Anything that is intelligent, they can monitor you. Anything. Anything that is voice commanded activated, anything that has a fucking camera, they can listen. Some of them, if you have a platform, they're stealing your content in this way. Accessing your laptop, your computer, your phone, or whatever. They're stealing your content, and then they're finding things that you have issues with, and then causing those to fall apart. And if, like, you have older family members, you have an older pet, they will do shit to make your family member, like, get sick. If they have, like, shit like dementia, they can, I'll go into that, they can actually literally, it's almost like a form of whispering to them. Like a demon whispers, like, in your shoulder and your ear, making people think certain things. And they can actually, and it's even easier to whisper to someone when they're asleep. And just like how, if you had listened to my other videos, how each time, like when my father had passed and I was in a lot of distress, like my guides had actually like implanted a memory for me. A memory that didn't even actually happen, but it comforted me. And later when I was able to think about it, I knew the memory wasn't true or real. Somehow, some way, these people are able to do that. Planting a memory to change the way you think of something to their benefit. And they're also using positive things against you, like making it seem like that's what it is. Like how my guides, when I sleep, when I have issues, they work with me to calm me down the next day. They're using some type of version of that. And you think that, you know, it's your guides coming to you to help you and, you know, calm you down. Well, these people are doing the same thing because you're allowing it, because you have to have discernment to know if it's them or it's your guides. When the next day your emotions have changed, they're using that against you. You might not know that they're able to do that, and you have to have discernment. When you're changing, when your emotions, your thoughts about something has changed the next day drastically, you need to see, has it actually helped you? Has it made your life better? Or is it something that caused you more chaos, kept you in a shitty situation, benefited somebody else in some way? Because it might be them doing that. And then some of these people, and I know, especially on certain platforms, from what they told me, like the red flags to know, for you guys to know who's been doing this, they've been doing it for years. Years. They're really good at it. And they have access to a lot of people. Some have a lot of access to a lot of knowledge, a lot of money, a lot of practitioners. And these people, of course, they need energy, and some of them like the attention of being in the spotlight of everybody else, seem like the good person, seeming like they're actually a positive spiritual person, that they help everybody. And they use this to their advantage when they see someone who's gifted and is a legit spiritualist that's trying to uplift people, that's not an energy vampire, that's not molesting people energetically. stealing, and that these gifted people are actually like hindering their access to people, making them stronger, and they want the gifts that this gifted person has have. So what they're doing is they're trying to almost like isolate the gifted person by somehow, some way, like whispering in people's heads to think negatively about the gifted person. Basically, they're making the people think everything that that actual person that's whispering is. They're just flipping the script. And they are basically almost like an incubus succubus, because they need the adoration, the trust, the interaction of people around them. And to isolate the gifted person, because they're actually they're doing energy harvesting of the gifted person and trying to keep the gifted person at a low frequency. So it's easy for them to manipulate what magic or energies, frequencies, intentions, give them curses, manipulate their environment. And since these people have been doing it for years, they've learned a lot of tricks. One of them is they use black magic on people to make their life like an event, something bad to happen, and then these people show up like the savior. Act like they care and they help. So that's a red flag. Some people have like, I know I can feel the energy and I could hear the comments in my head. Like they think like I've done it. I don't do shit like that. I've never ever done shit like that. And on the streaming scene, I'm very fucking new. I tried on Mixer for a little bit. So even on Twitch, I'm very, very new. So you guys can connect the dots. See who it is, because it's not me. And you could see other gifted people. You can tell who's who, especially if they're new onto the scene. You need to look at who's been around. Who's always been there every time something bad happened, and they mysteriously show up to save you and help you and tell you, oh no, it's them doing all the black magic. It's them they're jealous of you, and I'll help you. We can do this and we can do that. Who's been there always? They just mysteriously, they're there to help you and save you. So they always look like the good guy. These people have been doing it for fucking years. They're pros. And they know everybody's weaknesses because they've been listening on everybody's fucking electronics. Just to make sure and see who's who, who's been talking to who, what do they know, what have they been watching, so they know how to target you and how to combat whatever knowledge you might receive from another platform, another gifted person, another card reader, another psychic, so they know how to come at you. So you gotta look, who's always fucking there and has the right shit to say all the time. And they seem like the perfect fucking good guy, the Captain Save-A-Ho, because they're the one who set that shit up for you. Especially if things have been going really, really good for you, and mysteriously something goes wrong, like you fucking break your elbow, but this person shows up. Like they fucking care. Because it was them. Connect the dots. That's what they don't want people to do, is connect the dots. I'm very fucking new, so you can't blame that shit on me and others that are new like me. And that always show up with the right answer, the right comment. Exactly what you need. Because they want you to think they're the good guy, that they're there for you. And you see this like microcosm, macrocosm. This is the same shit that the powers that be, that you hear, the conspiracy theory, they cause the problem and then bring you the solution. The same shit. Same shit. You just got to think, who's always fucking there? And then also, they know who's fucking gifted. They know who's gifted. So they sit there and they say the right shit for you to keep you down, so you depend on them. They don't give you fucking independence. Hell no, they don't. They don't give you independence. They don't want you to be greater than them. So they siphon your gifts, literally. And then plus two, like me, I talk to my guides out loud. So all they have to do is listen on my electronics, and they get my ideas, and they use it as their content. And then they say that's their gifts. So if you have somebody mysteriously, like you might have an idea mysteriously, or at the same time, they get the idea at the same time as you, or they say it out before you, and they're like, oh, we must be on the same frequency. They're fucking lying. They have your shit hacked. And they're stealing your shit, your content, your knowledge, using your gifts against you. They know who you are. And they seem like the most helpful people in the fucking planet. They're always there at the right time. And if you look into some of the psychology, my brain.
Cluster B person.
Certain personality types, they always show up when things go to shit in your life. Not because they care, because they get pleasure out of seeing your life fall apart. And then it makes them feel good to know that right now their life is better than yours. They love it. Or to have the moment to act like they're helpful because they care. No. They like you depending on them. They like you adoring them. That's why they always seem to show up at the right time with the right advice. Because it's all fucking fake. That's another red flag. So you can know who's who. You just got to use your brain, connect the dots. I love observing people. I love observing their habits and behaviors. So it's like I have a pattern catalog in my head of people, the way people say things, the things they do. And then basically it's almost like seeing the future, but it's only just statistics and probabilities of people's behavior. Even like the colors that they like, the way they like it. Very telling when you pay attention. Shows their personality. And sometimes if you're really good with energy frequencies, you can hear it in their voice, who they are. So there's a lot of people that do not want me to hear them. Or if I do hear them for a little while, they notice like I can catch them in little snags and lies, and then they avoid me. And sometimes I creep people out because it's almost like I know a lot of things about them. You just have to pay attention. They show you who they are. And I'm like sick of it, that they're playing this shit on different platforms. And then the whispering stuff. And like, that goes along, it goes even further. Hold on a second, I have to do something really quick. know, yeah, like a lot of people, a lot of those that are my kind, that are the hybrids, that they're connected to a lot of species in the 3D and the 5D, that we are not only material, that we are energy. We're not like normal people, that we have a lot of abilities and gifts. And apparently these people who are doing black magic and all kinds of other stuff, they know this. They just don't want us to know this. And the thing about us that they fear and they're trying to use against us, and the gifts that they want, is like, one of them is the things you're going through, it's not because you're weak. And a lot of this, the universe is allowing it. They're allowing it because what you're doing, normal people can't do some things, and they're at a disadvantage. And like, even energetically, gifted-wise, they're not able to do. But since you're, I guess, a rainbow child, indigo, or whatever, your DNA, your physical form already started out more advanced to do more things and to carry certain energies. And then plus you have more advanced guides, higher level angels, entities, beings. They're already connected to you the moment you're born. And if they gave you all your gifts, like give you the full-blown protection, everything at the get-go, you would have never known some of the shit that is going on. Some of the stuff that normal people are going through. Like me, I had no clue about all, like, the magic. Like, I know, I was like, oh, you see magic on TV. That's as far as I went. Oh, praying on a candle, you know, God and Jesus and the angels. That's all I knew. And I thought, like, if you decided, oh, you know, you stay away from it, that it'll never, ever happen to you. Like the stories, you just cross your fingers. You know, you're not in that world. We had to experience everything that everybody else is going through. So we knew it existed. So we could process it. Like how I said, we're doing emotional rehab. We're doing advanced learning a lot faster for everybody else. And because we are an antenna, we receive energy and information. We transmit and amplify energy and information. And this energy information gets like almost like carbon copied onto people. We do the learning, the processing, get all the knowledge, and we transfer it to everybody else. We're a shortcut. So if we don't go through all this, we don't learn about it, how can we help other people? You can't, because you don't even know they're going through it. You'd be oblivious to it. So a lot of this, most of it, you're not being punished. It's not because you're not protected. It's because they want you to beat it. They want you to learn about it in and out. They want you to process it so you can transfer it to everybody else on the planet. And it gets transferred all the way to the ends of the universe. You're straight up helping to change the frequency of everything on this fucking planet, on every person, all of reality, to jump to a higher timeline, a more loving timeline, a timeline where these people, these beings cannot fucking touch us. We're going to a place where we're supposed to fucking be. Not because these, I don't even know what to consider them. Like, the stuff that they show me is just out there, and creepy. It's like, oh my God. Like, what you know, it's way worse.